Well, hello and welcome back, everybody. This is Randy Replay back at it again with Minnesota Vikings football. 2 weeks removed from our bye and 3 weeks removed from the trip to wonderful London. Minnesota Vikings find themselves, on a 3-game winning streak, winning a I don't know if you call that a heartbreaker or what, in Washington, 44-41. The running game getting loose on the Minnesota Vikings defense, which prior to the bye has been pretty decent. Again, it was against the Browns, but playing very, very well here was the Minnesota Vikings run defense. They gave up over 250 running yards to Dalvin Cook last game, and that doesn't get any easier here as the 6-3 Rams and Todd Gurley comes to US Bank Stadium. I am positioned in the press box here, getting ready for everything Minnesota Vikings football. A couple things to get to before we got the injury reports, and the Minnesota Vikings have Luke Slazewski, one of the best. Better wide receivers on this team. 77 overall, dislocated elbow, out for 3 more weeks. And if we take a look at the Rams roster, never mind. I made a mistake again, Randy Replay, tallying the mistakes. I even looked at this at the end of last week here. So Robert Woods, Todd Gurley, we do not have to worry about Todd Gurley. A broken thumb, Havenstein out for 7 weeks there. Roby Coleman with a forearm fracture, Gerald Everett with a dislocated ankle, and then Dennis Pitta, the starting tight end, out with a fractured hip. So lots of injuries here. The only thing we have to worry about now, I think, is Jared Goff and a couple members of this Rams defense. We're going to get this thing going, though. It is at US Bank Stadium. The 5-4 Minnesota Vikings play host to the 6-3 Los Angeles Rams. I almost said St. Louis there. This has been Randy Replay. I will see you at halftime.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Two teams will need their quarterbacks to step up and lead their offenses on the gridiron today. It's the Rams going up against the Vikings.
It's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside US Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Los Angeles Rams. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the former Louisville Cardinal, Teddy Bridgewater.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Now Dunbar. Oh, nice move. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It's a gain of 5, but they're still deep in a hole. 15 yards still to go on third down. Bridgewater to throw it. Now he's going to send this one deep right. They've got his man complete. And he's going to be run over. Hit hard as he'll be marked down. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Great patience in the pocket. Of course, it's easy to be patient when the protection's good, and it was.
Yeah, you got to pat those guys on the helmet and say thanks because they gave him plenty of time to stay back there, survey the field, go through the reads that he wanted to, and deliver the ball accurately. That was really well executed.
He was looking for Cooper Kupp there, and it's second down. They'll run it now with Dunbar. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They need to make up some ground, and they did.
To throw is Bridgewater. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the Rams have the first points here. It's 3-0. So our initial drive here this afternoon results in 3. I'm not sure that was a statement necessarily, but getting points on the road, never a bad thing.
No question about it, Brandon. You had a crowd that was all fired up during pregame introductions, yet you're able to quiet them just a little bit by taking the early lead.
So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And incomplete to open things up. So 2nd and 10 here.
What's left? What's left? All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Back to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Watch right. Watch right. Watch right. Now let's go.
They'll look to throw here. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
It's a nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam. Touchdown, Vikings! A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do. Doesn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
To throw, Bridgewater. And incomplete. A disappointing drop there defensively by the rookie. Second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. That's caught inside the 20. And he'll get it down deep into Los Angeles territory. They give him a gain of 37. And the young buck showing that ability, that agility to dance outside of the pocket, complete the deep ball.
And don't think for a second that the coaching staff didn't have their heart rate accelerate a little bit there, right? Anytime you have those young quarterbacks and they get outside of the pocket, you're just hoping that they make good decisions because so many things can happen that can go wrong when you throw it downfield like that. He got away with it there and in a big way.
They'll run it now out of the gun. A nice display of powerful running, but it takes him only to the 7. He's dropped there. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Our first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from Green Bay. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Joe Flacco, a first quarter touchdown pass in that one. Now the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game.
Not hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. On play action, it's Bridgewater. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Oh, a free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. He's going to find his man. That's Tavon Austin. Touchdown, L.A. Tavon Austin with touchdown number 7 on the year. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Rams have got it back. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team. After what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
So they need to determine if that knee was down before the ball was coughed up.
And they also wanted to make sure that the ball was possessed as they were going through it, that the ball wasn't working its way free before the knee hit the ground.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
They're going to look to throw. And that is caught. But he will come down out of bounds, says the side judge, incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. So a good snap, good hold, and that one's right down the middle. And maybe the wrong read there as as he's going to go down immediately. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Third and long for Bridgewater. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Wide open receiver, complete. They go play action here on 1st down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the... He's got a man, complete. That goes for a gain of 31.
So let's go ahead and add to the difficulties of guys trying to cover receivers. They got to deal with speed, shiftiness, all that stuff. But how about when they have height and length? Here on this 3rd down, they could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And this one is right down the middle. And they double them up here. That makes our score 20-10. 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run. This is Brown. And his first carry, he loses the football. 2 minutes to play here in the 1st half. More from Minneapolis after this.
Field with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead.
So that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will extend their lead even further. So he's been a busy man here in this 1st half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
Not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though this offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Vikings are happy to be sitting in the locker room with a lead. The Rams didn't play their best, and they'll need to be at their best now to come back. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights.
And hello and welcome back to the booth. This is Randy Replay, back at it again here for another halftime break. The Minnesota Vikings lead the Los Angeles Rams 23-10 at the half. The Minnesota Vikings will get the ball back here to start the 3rd quarter, but first we need to get into these stats just for your leaders of the Minnesota Vikings. I said Jared Goff, but it's actually Teddy Bridgewater who goes for the Los Angeles Rams, so that's interesting. Smiga with a QB rating of 93.1. He is 10 for 20. That is 50% for those of you that don't know how to do math or simply didn't look over here. 237 yards, which means he is up over 2,000 yards now on the season. No touchdowns, no interceptions, although there was a couple tip balls that would or should have landed in the defender's hands and didn't. So he's very, very lucky. I saw 2 or 3 passes that could have went very, very bad here for Smeagol in the first half. Rushing, it's a thing. I mean, Justin Sandman Vandershoff, 5 carries for 6 yards. He was in positive yardage, double digits, I should say. But then a couple of runs for negative yards puts him back down there, and now he's just averaging 1.2 yards per carry. As Derek Fahey is on his way to a good game, 3 carries, 55 yards, 18.3 average yards per carry, with a touchdown. Travis Parker had an early touchdown. He had 2 carries for 13 yards. Receiving it is Luis Gonzalez, like he's been doing all season, on track to lead the team in receptions, 3 for 36 here in the first half, although Blake Letelier and Darian Wilson on his coattails, 2 for 64 each. So the play of Blake Letelier in the absence of Luke Slazewski has been incredible. He doesn't have any drops. He's going up for balls and he's getting them, and he's getting run after the catch yards with 16 so far, averaging 8 per catch and averaging 32 yards per reception. Another honorable mention with a good catch in the first half was Anthony Bisbee down the field, pinned against the shadow of their own goalpost. As you see at the bottom, Baltimore has just taken the lead on Green Bay. We need to watch that on the bottom of the screen. 10 seconds left to go in their first half. If we win and Green Bay loses, we are sole owners. But both teams at 5-4. Cleveland got a win. Good for them. Anthony Bisbee, 1 catch, 31 yards. Just having a good old season is Anthony Bisbee. Nobody cares about blocking, so we're going to go to defense and look at total tackles, and it's Matthew Arnsdorf with 4, Tevin Fair, Justin Lewis, and Poi Tralamalu each with 3 tackles for loss. We do have a couple. Justin Lewis with 2, Dan Nolte, Terrell Oliver, Ryan Bulow, and Tevin Fair each with 1. Sacks, we had 3 in the first half by Leo Neal, Paul Fritchie, the free safety on a blitz. And Richard Salthy. Of course, no interceptions for your Minnesota Vikings defense. We do have 2 pass deflections by Aaron Nelson and Jerry Myers. A forced fumble by Terrell Oliver, not recovered by the defense. No block kicks, no safeties, and no defensive touchdowns for your Minnesota Vikings. Brandon Baker, though, if we could just go back to that. The kicking, there we go. 3 for 3, longest of 51 yards. So 9 of these 23 points are thankfully given to us by the leg of Brandon Baker. 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals make up our 23 points here in the first half. The Minnesota Vikings get the ball back as they are just about ready for kickoff down there on the field. Teddy Bridgewater versus Smeagol. So far, Smeagol is doing good. Beating Teddy apart from the touchdown. He needs 1 more touchdown to get 20 on the season, and he has already surpassed 2,000 yards through 11 games. This has been Randy Replay. I'll see you after the game where I can hopefully call a Minnesota Vikings win.
Score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
They'll drop to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
But last year, I'm not sure we saw very many of those runs, did we, from the Vikings? I mean, and the poorest rushing attack in the league.
Just 75 yards per game, but carries like the one we just saw, that'll help bolster that average.
Yeah, certainly, and they tried to beef up the offensive line in the offseason, brought in Latavius Murray, and then drafted Dalvin Cook out of Florida State.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal.
All right, here we go. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. 99 Philly. Here we go. 13.
Now they try the right side here. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown,
You want two.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Second down, the ball on the 2 here, 2nd and goal. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well.
All right, here we go.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for.
And now off to the races down the right side. And oh, so close as he takes it on the 2-yard line. A huge play that time for the Rams. 69 yards. They'll give it here to Brown. And he takes it across for a Rams touchdown. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year.
Up that play.
Here we go now.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Now a handoff here to his running back. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. They'll set up a throw. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Aaron Donald in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. First down, Bridgewater. Austin's got it left side. Touchdown, L.A. Tavon Austin with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Rams are able to draw a bit closer.
And make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. Back to throw now on first down. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
A big away. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And he's brought down. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
They'll let the fullback try and take him home. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there.
Now let's go. 319. 319. All right, Detroit. Detroit.
Second and goal from the 2-yard line. And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. They hold him again, and now all of a sudden it's third and goal at the 1. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Well, they held him out on second down, and now here's third and goal.
All right, now Detroit. Detroit.
He'll look to throw. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Well, it was third and 1. I was expecting run so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to.
It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Third and goal for Bridgewater. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal.
Let's go. Wayne 90.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is incomplete. They had the play call on 4th and goal, but it's dropped in the end zone. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. Here it's 3rd and 2. Now a handoff here to his running back. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
His kick is good. One that he dropped, surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
Bridgewater. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick six makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it. To the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have, it's chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions maybe in the back of his mind. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Minnesota, it's an important win in terms of staying in the postseason race as they move to 6-4. And now they'll get the short week as they get set to play at Detroit on Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, for the Rams, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the New Orleans Saints. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.
And with that so long, we welcome you back up here into the booth with Randy Replay. What about that, huh? 2 pick sixes in the game, and both by the strong safeties for the Minnesota Vikings to really put this thing out of reach. So we thank you for that Poi Tralamalu and Thaddeus Rozu. Thaddeus Rozu, his 3rd interception, I do believe, his first pick six of the season. And then Poi Tralamalu, I think that is his 2nd interception. We're not terribly sure, but both undercutting routes, very, very good. And another win for the Minnesota Vikings as they top the Los Angeles Rams 56-24. We're going to get into these players' stats. We will get you back to the main screen, and then we will preview next week and see what the Packers did. I know they finished their game up just moments ago, so the suspense is killing me. Zvega with a QB rating of 131.3. That is 21 for 33 completions to attempts. That is 67% completion percentage. For those of you that didn't know how to do math or didn't look over here, 382 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions, giving him 21 touchdowns and 7 interceptions on the day. On the season, sorry. And over now 2,000 yards on the season. Good season rolling for Smeagol. There wasn't much to have here in the running game for Justin Sandman. He really got it moving here in the second half, but too little too late. He still got the bulk of the carries, 13 carries for 43 yards. bringing his average up to 3.3. If you remember at the half, it was under 1.5. So a couple broken tackles here. Travis Parker, 9 for 13 and a touchdown. But Derek Fahey is the story of the day. His career day. First time going over 106. I'm sure the game ball will go to him from Mike Zimmer. He also had a touchdown, but he also left with an injury. I do believe he will be okay to go for next game. Daniel Hendricks, however, four carries, 3 yards. So tough sledding for Daniel Hendricks. I know that front four of the Los Angeles Rams is very good, holding him to under 1 yard per run. Sam Gable, of course, 3 for 42. Smeagol, 3 for 18. Matthew Peterson, 2 for 1 going down there at the goal line. Receiving, it was Darian Wilson who led the team in receptions. 5 catches, 89 yards, and both of Smeagol's touchdowns. Luis Gonzalez did catch the ball 4 times for 43 yards. Blake Letelier, 4 for 85. Travis Lee, 3 for 57. Jesse Peterson, 2 for 43. Cameron Quick, 1 for 9. Lou Wang, 1 for 25. And Anthony Bisbee, 1 for 31. That is a lot of receiving here. Nobody cares about blocking. We're going to go to defense and look at total tackles. And it is Matthew Arnsdorf with 6, Zachary Anderson, Paul Fritchie, Justin Lewis with 4, Joshua Fitzer, Tevin Fair, Thaddeus Rosu, Poi Tralamalu, Jerry Myers with 3, Aaron Nelson, Danny Pickering, Terrell Oliver, Otis McMillan, Drew Ward, Cameron Quick, Travis Lee, Richard Salty, Scott Rethwell, each with 2, and then Rashid Spinks, Dan Nolte, Lee O'Neill, Ryan Bealow, Sean Clausen, each with 1. So not really a lot of standout here. It was mainly tough tackles in the trenches here, and then a couple on the outside. Tackles for loss, we added a couple more here. Justin Lewis ended the game with 2. Dan Nolte, Terrell Oliver, Zachary Anderson, Ryan Bealow, Tevin Fair each had 1. Sacks, hey, you best believe we added 1 more. Otis McMiller adds 1 in the second half. And Lee O'Neill, Paul Fritchie, Richard Salty each with a sack. Interceptions, as you saw, we had 2 by the Minnesota Vikings defense. 1 by Thaddeus Rosu and 1 by Poi Tralamalu. Each returned 35 yards and 26 yards for touchdowns. Pass deflections, we added 2 more. Matthew Arnsdorf, Justin Lewis, Aaron Nelson, and Jerry Myers end the day with a pass deflection. 1 forced fumble by Terrell Oliver, recovered by the Rams there. No block kicks, no safeties, and 2 defensive touchdowns on the day by Thaddeus Rosu and Poi Tralamalu. Now we're going to get into kicking, where Brandon Baker was a busy beaver today. 5 kicks, 5 makes. Longest of 51, he also had 5 extra points out of 5 attempts. So there you go. He is 3 for 3. Field goals 40 to 49, and 1 for 1 on field goals of 50. 12 kickoffs, no touchbacks. Punting, Taylor Pauline, not so busy. He only had 1 for 41, netting 21 yards, as goes for a touchback, a rare touchback from Taylor Pauline. Jesse Peterson, 3 kick returns for 83 yards. Justin Sandman Vanderschaff had 2 for 47. Punt returns, 1 for 8 by Robert Nichols. So we really didn't force them into punting situations. We kind of got on top of them early and didn't let loose, keeping that pedal to the metal as we get a 32-point win over the Los Angeles Rams. We're going to get you back to the main screen, where Randy Replay will preview next week, and we'll see what the Packers did. We'll check on Derek Fahey's injury, and we will see you in just a moment. And here we are back at the main screen, and it is the Minnesota Vikings, 6-4, going against the Detroit Lions here. 3-7. It will be Thanksgiving the next time you see this team. We are 2 games above 500, and it's very good to see. Now, taking a look at the injury report for both teams, we do this a lot. Okay, so Derek Fahey, who just had a career day, will not be kept out. Luke Zalewski, though, is out still 2 more weeks. He will be ready around week 15 or 16, depending on what the team wants to do. And for those Lions, we're going to figure out what's going on with them here. So they have DJ Hayden, fractured elbow, out for 2 weeks. Excuse me, Tavon Wilson Sr. out for 1 more week with a shoulder tear, so they're strong side safety. And then Jordan Hill, their defensive tackle, out the rest of the year with an Achilles tear. We'll figure out the division. Okay, so the Packers did hold on to beat the... keep forgetting who they played. The Ravens, sorry. So we are now tied 6-4 atop the division, and it doesn't get any easier. We have 3 road games here to round out the season. We'll be back. I know we have a game in Lambeau, and then we'll go to the team schedule, actually. We have a game in Lambeau, and then we have one more home game against the Bengals, and then we finish the season off with the Bears. So of our next 6 games, only 2 are at home, so that's going to be very, very interesting. I know we have a Saturday night, sorry, here against the Packers, so that is going to be interesting. Saturday night football. And hopefully by this time, I don't see us beating the Falcons. Although you like to root for your home team, I don't think we can contain their receivers. I think Matt Ryan is one of the best to ever play the game, and Randy has a loss there. I think the Panthers are beatable if we could get back there to Cam Newton and actually take him down. He's one of the hardest quarterbacks to take down. And then I do foresee a win out after the Panthers game with the Bengals beating the Packers in Lambeau. I know they beat us here. Time to return the favor. And then the Bears are going to be a cakewalk as they're last place in the division. But, of course, anything can happen. Oh, they're actually not. It is the Lions in last place as they lose their game. Okay. So the division is as follows. Packers and Vikings tied atop. Bears in third. And the Lions in the bottom of the barrel, or the basement, if you will. So this has been Randy Replay. I will see you in the next one.